Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a B-movie review, and I'll be having a look at the movie DRACANO, also known as Dragon Apocalypse. Now, this is a sci-fi original movie and stars Corin Nemec and Victoria Pratt. Now, if you've seen sci-fi movies, things like Sharknado, they've kind of taken two concepts and kind of melded them together. This will probably give you an idea about what this film's like. So here you have a mixture of dragons and exploding volcanoes, and hence DRACANO. Now, basically, the story is Corin Nemec's character, he's playing a scientist who's kind of developed this new technology to try and halt erupting volcanoes, and he's actually used as a scapegoat when a volcano erupts, and ultimately he's kind of the patsy. And the reality is that it's actually a kind of network of sort of tunnels and kind of magma rivers under the Earth's crust. All interlinked across the world, and there's actually these dragons that have been living in. The government's known about this for some time, and basically there's kind of nowhere to stop them once they kind of come out into the kind of the outside world, because they're sort of scaled hardened and they're pretty much invulnerable. And we're ultimately facing the dragon apocalypse, and the government's been keeping a lid on it for years. But ultimately, the things are getting worse, and sort of dragons are coming out. And there's a large mother dragon which is kind of making her way out to the surface world as well. So ultimately you've got the scientists, and then you've got Corin Nemec, Victoria Pratt, and also Corin Nemec's young daughter, so kind of as the main sort of characters here. Ultimately then team up with the US government to try and put a stop to the spread of these sort of dragons. Now, it does actually remind me a lot of a film called Reign of Fire, which is kind of one of these forgotten movies that came out some time ago, so it stars Christian Bale. And it almost, with that movie, with Reign of Fire, you pretty much saw the kind of the aftermath of the kind of the dragon apocalypse. This one actually shows the dragon apocalypse actually happening. Now, for a sci-fi movie, these things are always going to be a fairly typical movies with no real surprises, and it's very true of this movie. But I have to say, I thought this was probably a little bit above average from some of the ones that I've seen. Now, I thought the chemistry by Corin Nemec and Victoria Pratt, both who have been in countless kind of these sort of big movie films, I actually thought was pretty good. And the daughter as well I thought was quite good as kind of the sort of the bratty but quite clever teenage daughter. There are some massive stereotypes and cliches. You kind of got the gruff army guys. You've got this tenacious reporter, and the reporter sort of subplot is kind of completely irrelevant because it doesn't go anywhere. They don't even know why it's in there. They have this kind of subplot about this kind of reporter and her assistant who kind of believes the dragons. And anyway, it's just crap. That doesn't go anywhere. They're completely pointless leaving it in, but there you go. Special effects, I didn't think were too bad for a TV movie. They're never going to be great. They're never going to be sort of even Jurassic Park or anything like that. But they weren't too bad. And there was a couple of scenes where you kind of see landscapes from sort of around the world, and I thought the actual effects didn't look too bad. Occasionally, yes, the CGI looks a bit ropey. It's never going to be fantastic, but I didn't think it was too bad. There's lots of sort of typical cliche army characters, all of whom don't really look like genuine military, employees. But there you go. But overall, it was kind of a fun B movie, I have to say. It took itself relatively serious, but it still had a kind of sense of fun. It's nothing surprising. I will say it's not a spoiler, but something happens towards the end of the movie, and I actually thought they were going to do something a little bit unexpected and have a kind of plot point actually not end in a kind of obvious way. I was like, oh, that's going to be pretty good, but it doesn't in the obvious way. You'll know what I mean when you see it. Anyway, but overall, it was probably an above average sort of TV movie for the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Not bad, I enjoyed it. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.